Today, we're exploring a seriously profound piece of ancient wisdom from Dr. Kumud Singhal, all about how we interact with our beautiful planet. We live in a world that just moves so incredibly fast, right? It's way too easy to lose sight of our fundamental relationship with nature. But today, we're going to slow things down. We're going to look at a concept that can completely transform how you see yourself and your responsibilities to the Earth.
So, what actually happens when we take more from the Earth than it can give? To answer that vital question, we're going to look at a super charming story. It basically maps out the entire path to true emotional maturity and environmental harmony. It's a beautifully simple tale, but it perfectly captures that delicate balance we absolutely have to maintain if we want our world to thrive for generations to come. Section 1. The Girl by the Lake. Our journey starts right here, in a lush, beautiful coconut grove situated right next to this vibrant blue lake. And this is where we meet a young, incredibly observant girl named Mori.
Now, every single morning, Mori would balance this big, empty basket on her head and walk down to the water. Her mom would follow along to wash clothes on a smooth stone, while her dad brought out his massive fishing net. And at the end of every day, he dragged that net ashore, and they would just fill that huge basket with their daily catch. It was a simple, peaceful life, and they were completely intertwined with the rhythms of nature.
But while the family enjoyed all these incredible resources, Mori was just a deeply compassionate kid. Whenever a turtle got stuck in her dad's fishing net, she would always rush over to rescue it and make sure it got safely back to the water. Well, one sunny morning, looking at this massive pile of fish they'd caught, she realized a pretty harsh truth. She looked at her dad and said, "If we catch so many fish, one day there will be none left." Now, her mom just kind of laughed it off and sent her to school, but Mori's words, they definitely lingered in the air. Which brings us to Section 2, A Dream of Empty Waters. This realization sets the stage for a major turning point. But it doesn't start with some big dramatic event. It actually starts with a quiet afternoon nap. Later that day, Mori's mom was taking a nap under the shade of the tall palm trees, but it was a really uneasy sleep. She dreamt of this totally barren, lifeless lake. The water was completely still. No fish beneath the surface, nothing. She woke up with tears in her eyes, struck by this sudden, deep panic about how they were going to survive and raise Mori without enough fish to sell at the market.
But in that dream, the wind had whispered an absolute truth to her. It said, "The waters and the land have always taken care of your family, so you have to take care of them in return." It's this powerful call to respect the universal harmony of the natural world. Basically, it was a huge wake-up call that the Earth isn't just an endless supply closet, right? It's a living system that needs mutual care.
And wow, did that dream shift everything. After staying up super late discussing it by the glow of an oil lamp, the family makes a conscious choice to completely change their habits. The very next morning, instead of handing Mori that giant basket, her dad hands her a much smaller one. Mori was confused and asked how they'd carry all the fish, but her dad just smiled and said, "We will only take as many fish as will fit inside this basket." Section 3, Becoming Earth's Caretakers. Let's see how this one decision ripples out and builds into a completely new way of life for the whole family. The crux of it is, they stopped treating the forest like an all-you-can-eat buffet and started acting like grateful guests. Zero waste. When Mori came home from school, she saw her mom making soap and oil. Mori offered to climb the tree to pluck more coconuts, but her mom gently stopped her. She said, "We must only use what the tree freely gives us." From then on, they only used fallen coconuts. No more plucking. They transformed their entire livelihood around this philosophy. They started making brooms from palm leaves and weaving mats from coconut fiber to sell alongside their smaller catch of fish. Mori even got super creative and started carving these tiny, beautiful turtles out of leftover coconut shells. She wore one around her neck as this constant, daily reminder of their deep connection to nature. Section 4. The Consumer versus Contributor. Now, Mori's story perfectly mirrors a really profound teaching from Dr. Kumud Singhal on the value of values. It shows us the fundamental choice we all have in how we operate in this world. Think about it. We are all born entirely dependent. We naturally start out with the mindset of a consumer. Imagine a toddler in a toy store. We take resources, we take attention because we feel we lack something. We're driven by this constant sense of, what can I get to make myself happy? But true emotional maturity, that means growing out of that toddler phase. It means evolving into a contributor. This is a caretaker. A contributor doesn't give to become happy. They give because they realize they are already full. Their happiness isn't dependent on grabbing more stuff. Instead, they just look around and ask, "How can I help?"
The contrast between these two mindsets is actually wild. A consumer basically acts like a thief to the natural order, exploiting the earth without giving back. But a contributor, they see themselves as actually belonging to the earth. They're all about mutual nourishment and being a responsible manager of the resources we share.
Which brings us to Section 5, the value of values. If you're wondering how to practically make this shift in your own life, honestly, you just need to look at the natural world around you. Dr. Singhal points out that nature is constantly teaching us to be contributors. Take an orange tree, for example. It produces this sweet, nourishing fruit, and it just gives it away for free. It doesn't charge for the oranges. It doesn't stress about who picks them. Giving is just the natural expression of what it is.
Or think about the sun. We often worry that if we give too much of ourselves, we'll run out of energy. But as this brilliantly points out, does the sun go empty because it gives light? No, it is the nature of the sun to shine. Being a true contributor doesn't drain you. It actually fulfills your nature.
Now, here's where we differ from the orange tree and the sun. We have free will. That means we have to consciously make the choice. We can choose immediate gratification, or we can use our free will to choose the beneficial path. It's making the deliberate choice to act as a caretaker for the whole planet, exactly like Mori's family chose to do.
And you know, stepping up as an environmental steward isn't some terrible burden. It's actually the ultimate expression of intelligent living. You don't have to stop progress. You just have to realize progress doesn't require destruction. You can embrace reducing, reusing, and recycling, not with a sigh of resentment, but with the deep understanding that a war against nature is literally a war against ourselves.
Every single day, you are faced with a choice. Are you going to use your free will today to simply consume, or will you step up and choose to be a caretaker in this big, beautiful family of the Earth?